I'm here in my kitchen, reminiscing a little bit while I cooked 3 pounds of ground beef to the time when I still worked construction. I would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning so that I could do this fresh every morning. I wouldn't cook 3 pounds, I'd probably cook about 1 pound, but I ate cold chicken, rice, and broccoli for so many years out of a container like this in my lunchbox that had an ice pack on it that I was like, dude, I'm done with that. And so when I saw somebody, Stan Efferding, shout out to Stan Efferding, with one of these, and he put ground beef in here, I was like, dude, game over. That's how I will eat from now on. And so I would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I would have my rice cooker set, I would have my ground beef all portioned out from the freezer, I'd put it on the counter, let it defrost, and then the next day, early in the morning, I could cook it up before I went to work, I could put it in my thermos, and then I was ready to go with hot, fresh food. I would cook the ground beef, I would put it into the rice cooker, so I had the rice all kind of like, I think I was on like 1 cup or 1.5 cups dry of rice that I would cook in the rice cooker. I would cook the ground beef up, I would dump that in there, and then I would take a bell pepper, a whole bell pepper, diced up, I would put it in the hot pan. Whatever little bit of ground beef grease was left, I would cook the bell pepper up in that. I would dump that into the rice cooker tub, stir it all around, and then I would load it into 2 or 3 or however many thermoses I need to hold what I had for the day. Now, a couple years later, we're in a different house, different income level, and different physique. A little bit more ripped now, holding on to some more size, probably thanks to the testosterone that I'm taking. In part, that is what it is, since I hopped on tests. But no, it's just cool, like looking back and thinking back to all those days and weeks and years that I spent doing that off camera, and how it paid off once I started putting it on camera. And then a couple years later, after I started putting myself on camera, here we are, and life is good, man. Life is good. But I'm sitting here doing this, thinking about all the people that want to make the excuse that they don't have the time. I don't have the time to meal prep. I can't eat clean. I can't eat healthy. Or they would say that they can't afford it. That is so bizarre to me, because I worked with a lot of construction guys who were broke, but they always had money to stop at the gas station in the morning, especially when I carpooled with them. 2 packs of smokes, 2 energy drinks because they were 2 for $5 or whatever the deal was, Slim Jim, chips. They'd spend like $20 to $40 a day just in the morning, just to get to work, to get their caffeine and nicotine fix. And then it was Panda Express, Chipotle, In-N-Out for lunch. I mean, dude, we're talking fast food. It's like $15 or $20 for a Chipotle bowl. If you go to Jack in the Box and you get fries and a drink, that's an easy $15 and probably 1,200 calories too. So the money is usually there. You can buy ground beef for like, I think $5 a pound, $6 a pound at Costco. You can buy it in bulk. Chicken is like $2.99 a pound. You can get way more food, way more cost effectively. All you have to do is take the time to prep it. I'm gonna be done cooking up this 3 pounds of ground beef in about, 10 minutes. And if you're wondering what I'm doing with the paper towel, I'm just soaking up the fat. I used to dump it down the kitchen sink. Stopped doing that after we had to call the plumber out to my old house. We don't use that method anymore. But dude, the time is being allocated. If you check your screen time on your phone and you just allocated that same amount of time to like working out, making sure that you had meals prepped, making sure that you were reading a book or listening to some type of like self-development podcast or something, your life would be vastly different. Energy can't be created or destroyed. It just changes where it goes, changes form. If you take that energy that you're spending doom scrolling, watching the news, worrying about the future, and start building your body, building your mind, and building your future, building a business, you're gonna have less anxiety in your life because you're gonna feel like you're moving towards a goal, but you're also gonna be healthier, you're gonna be happier, you're gonna be more, dude, like all it takes is a little bit of this. Everybody's got the time, they're just spending it on the wrong things. So I just figured I'd whip the camera out real quick while this was fresh on my mind. 3 o'clock in the morning is a lot earlier than most people are willing to get up. And I was doing that before I ever was making money putting myself on camera because I wanted this. I wanted the physique. It was worth it to me to do that. There's a lot of people out there that are in far worse shape than I've ever been in. All they want to do is come up with excuses. Find a solution, not an excuse. There's always a solution to every problem. And if you genuinely don't have enough time, you need to ask yourself, why? Are you really giving away 70, 80, 100 hours a week to an employer? If there's no end in sight as far as that goes, and it's not something that you're just absolutely passionate about, something that you want to do for the rest of your life, it's paying your bills and then some, I would definitely start taking a closer look at the future and what you're going to do to change that, because A, it's not sustainable. Nobody can live working that many hours for years on end for the rest of their life. Most people definitely don't want to, but until you decide to make a change, it's not going to change. If money is the major complaint, oh, I can't eat healthy, I guarantee you it's in there somewhere. Most people just need to change a couple bad spending habits and the money's there. I feel like the last place people want to spend is on their self-development, their health, getting on a program, eating healthy, but we'll buy $1,000 phones just so that we can go on the internet with them. We'll have Netflix subscriptions, we'll do pay-per-view, we'll go to concerts, we'll go to sporting events, we'll gotta go shopping because the new Jordans came out. I mean, the money is somewhere. If you just calculate how many calories you eat and how much money you spend going out to eat in a given month, it could be mind-blowing if you haven't ever taken a look at it before. But yeah, when it comes to time, like I said, the rice cooker could be going in the background. I happen to have rice in the fridge right now. You could be using any of these methods. I work from home, so I usually eat out of a bowl. If I have fresh rice in the rice cooker or if I have it in the fridge, I'm gonna wanna put that in the bowl first. I have 150 grams of beef per meal, so I'm just loading up these little Amazon containers because they don't take up much room in the fridge. As you can see, I mean, it ain't a crazy amount of protein, but I'll just pop that on the stove while I'm weighing out the rice so they can be going simultaneously. Bring them together in the bowl, fresh veggies in the fridge. What I used to do back when I was still working, or even after, we would get the bigger version of this. We would chop up a bunch of bell peppers, me and my wife, and we would put them in a container. So that way when I wanted to make a meal, it was like the meat was cooked and weighed out, the rice was already in the rice cooker or the fridge, and then I would just take a little bit of bell pepper, then I got my vegetables, a little bit of fiber, a little bit of vitamin C. And when you take the time, 20 minutes to cut them up ahead of time, it saves you probably that long every meal. So the ROI on the work and the time that you're putting in is very high. If you want to start bettering your life, if you want things to start changing for you, your mood, your physique, your attitude, this is one of the easiest places that you can start. Just start paying attention to what you're fueling your body with. The mind and the gut are connected. So if you're fueling with that junk food, and if you're causing yourself to go broke by eating it, that's just gonna cause stress. Not to mention you're eating junk that really you shouldn't even be eating. So that's not proper fuel for your mind. It's not proper fuel for your body. If you want to run optimally, if you want to be able to change things in your life, start taking this seriously. Start taking this seriously, fueling properly, moving your body, training, consuming the right type of content. Start reading a book, start reading a self-help book, a business book, something like that. Start growing your mind, growing your muscles, growing your body, growing your discipline. Your life is going to change 100%. This is the easiest, lowest barrier to entry way to start changing things in a very significant way. If you aren't sure how to start or where to start, I would start on this channel. I have a video that I put together on how to track macros. That's gonna help you figure out what you should be eating in a day, and I go over protein sources, carb sources, good, healthy, whole food options for you, most of which can be purchased in bulk. So just start there. Start researching on this channel, other YouTube channels, how to eat healthy, how to track macros, how to calculate macros, and work on that. Get into the gym, start training. I mean, I used to be so broke I couldn't afford a gym membership. So I would work out on equipment that I had in my garage, or just hit the ground. Do burpees, do push-ups, do dips between kitchen chairs. I had a $20 pull-up bar that went in the door frame that I got from Amazon. There's all sorts of different ways. There's no excuses. There's just solutions. If you keep making excuses, it's on you. If you want your life to change, if you want to get better, if you want your life to get better, you have to get better. If you want you to get better, you have to make the change. You have to make the decision to change. You have to stick to it. You have to use discipline. You wanna lose weight, you gotta get a little hungry. If you wanna gain muscle, you gotta eat till you're full, and then some. If you wanna make money, you have to learn how to provide value to a lot of people. You have to become valuable, you have to become better. This is where I would start. I'm Taylor Thrasher. I'll see you guys on the next one.